So we'll get started here in just well, it's 6:35, but we do have a fairly steady amount of people still coming in. So thank you for coming. Welcome to the Spring 2025 Parent Coach Meeting. My name is Matt Barlow. I'm the person who's been emailing you and will be emailing you quite a bit, probably more than you like, to keep you informed about things that are going on with the league. Interesting. All right, so that one, oh, there it goes. Okay. Here's a couple pictures, and even one from last spring that you can see we did on a turf field in a little bit of snow. And you know how that goes. It's a beautiful 65-degree day today, and in a week or whatever we start practices, probably going to snow. We'll see. But we'll work through it, and we'll get our games in as best we can, and we'll talk about that as we go through things. So quick overview of the stuff that we're going to do. We're going to introduce some staff. Maybe we can get some coach introductions as well. I'll talk about our philosophies, talk about rosters, important dates, our websites and forms, our rules, how to help your coaches, any questions you have. Then, of course, the coaches that are here will get some uniforms, and if you're a new coach, you'll get some equipment as well. Along with the staff, we have two special guests here. So to my right here is Derek Tripp. He's the recreation superintendent, so he's my supervisor, direct supervisor. You see my name there as well. Todd Steinkamp was out front helping at the table. He's a recreation supervisor. Amanda Akers is a recreation specialist who helps me at the Southeast Rec Center, but you may see her out at the fields as well. Marlinda Acevedo is also one of our part-time staff, and she was out at the table, and you'll see her at the fields most every Saturday as well. And then volunteer coaches. So I'm going to try to take the microphone around real quick and get a few coaches' intros. And at the bottom, it says email communication is best. That's just the easiest way to reach me, and that's the way I'm the most responsive. You can always call and leave a message too. If you've gotten my emails before, I have like an office number and a number at the field house. They both basically ring on the same phone, but I've always had that office number before I was working at the field house, so I kept both. Derek, anything real quick?
Yeah, I'll stand up here. Just wanted to thank everybody for being here, in advance. Obviously, it's your participation, it's the coaches, it's the parents, it's the kids that make this program run. I would like to say that, this is, it's a great kudos to Matt and the program, but this is our youth soccer program is our biggest trending program that we have in sports, largest growth that we have every season. So we continue to see that there's more and more interest in that, and that I think goes all the way back to the way that the program and the league is developed, and then all of you for your participation in the league. Thank you for being here, spending your time here with us. A lot of good information here. The one thing I would say, as a parent and as a coach myself for different sports, I'm always going to talk about sportsmanship and involvement and what's most important in sports and youth sports, and that's the kids and that's their experiences. We've never really had any major issues in youth soccer, and that says a lot about you all, I would say. So just continue to be great, continue to remember what this is about, lift the kids up, make sure that their experience is great, because I know that these type of opportunities are just so influential in their lives. And like I said, so we're really, really happy to be a part of that. And thanks to Matt and his group for making this a really great program in league and sports. So I'm sure too that for those online, I would assume too, if they have questions, we'll answer them probably maybe towards the end, so they can go ahead and throw questions in there. So we will get to those at some point.
Yes, we will get to online questions as well as questions here in person. Derek, if you want to hold on to that for just a second and maybe work this half of the room for me.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go around real quick. If you're a coach, if you want to raise your hand, if you just want to say your name, what age group you're coaching, in case any of your players or parents are here. And also you can say something about if it's your second or third or first season if you want to, or that you were assisting another coach prior, or whatever you want to share with us, okay? We'll go real quick.
Leave me alone.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Brandon Horton, and I am a 12U coach. This is my first season coaching ever. I have assisted coaching 6U before, but I'm excited about the opportunity to do this.
Hey everyone, KZ, 6U and 8U.
My name's Cameron, 15U. I've been coaching it's probably like my 8th season coaching.
My name is Christina Robles, and I'm coaching 10U. This is my 6th season.
I'm Jessica Diaz, and I'm coaching 6U, and this is my 5th season coaching.
I'm Jarrell Brown. I'm coaching 4U. This is our 3rd season participating, but my 1st season coaching.
Kamal Koshi, I'm coaching the first time 10U. My child is in that bracket, so I'm starting to coach.
Thank you.
I'm John. I coach 8U, and this will be my 2nd season.
John O'Scott. I was trying to count. I think this is my 19th season. And one of the first I've only coached one team, 10U.
I am Lindsay Bertner. This is my first season with Aurora Sports, but my husband and I have been coaching prior with the YMCA for the past 10 years. And we'll be coaching 15U and 8U.
My name is Dylan Waterhouse. I'm coaching 8U. Been coaching for about like a year and a half.
My name is Rob. This is my 2nd year coaching soccer, coached everything else, under the sun. And we're coaching 8U.
Good evening. My name is Priya Virahara. I'm coaching 8U, and this is my 2nd season, and looking forward to an exciting season.
Hi, my name is George, and my wife Raquel. We're coaching 6U. This is our 1st season as well.
Hello, my name is Anthony Nicholson. I go by Coach T. This is my 3rd year coaching 6U.
I'm Isaiah Gonzalez, and this is my 2nd season coaching, and I'll be coaching 15U.
Any other coaches over here?
Oh, I missed one down front, it looks like. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm Coach Matt Sawyer. I've been coaching 11 years, and I'll be coaching 10U.
My name is Cameron Bob. I'll be coaching 8U this year. This is my, I believe, 6th season with the Aurora Rec. And I'll be coaching 8U as well.
Hi, my name is April Long. It's my 1st year coaching. I'll be coaching 6U. My kids have done lots of sports with Aurora, but this will be my first time coaching my son's team. So me and my son, we're looking forward to it.
My name's Eric Robinson. I'll be coaching 6U, and this is my 2nd year.
My name is Kenny Nelson. I'll be coaching 6U, and this is my 1st year.
I got you here.
Hey, I'm Ashley Brown, and I'm coaching 4U, my 1st year.
Okay, guys, I think we got everybody. We have a lot of coaches here, which is great. Some are probably online as well. This is the awkward part for me, I guess. A little bit about myself. It's not a brag, although it's certainly going to seem like it, I guess. I played soccer all my life. I played soccer through college. I've coached everything under the sun from 4U to college, club, high school, over 50 seasons of soccer. I have licenses from the USA, from USSF, from what used to be called the National Soccer Coaches Association of America, some of the highest licenses they offer, as well as licenses from Brazil, England, and Holland. I have a master's degree in sports management. I have been to 6 World Cups, 4 men's and 2 women's, 2 here in the United States and then 4 abroad. And yeah, so what I'm trying to tell you is I do a lot of things related to soccer, have done and do a lot of things related to soccer. And why I want to tell you that is because I want to use that experience to help you guys have the best possible experience as players, as parents, as coaches. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Is it going to be perfect? Absolutely not. I'm just doing my best with the knowledge that I have to make it positive for you guys, okay? Let's move along. Challenger, sorry, Kate, it's been longer than I thought. So Kate is here from Challenger Sports. She's going to talk a little bit about their programs. They supply our uniforms and stuff as you see up there. The VDOC, which I've sent out to coaches, which stands for what? Virtual Director of Coaching. Oh, she's going to talk about it. It's been sent out, and she's been handing out things as well. They're going to do a coaches clinic on March 3rd. All right, I'm probably stealing her thunder. I'll let her talk.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, my name's Kate. I'm here from Challenger Sports. So Challenger Sports, we're an international soccer coaching company. We run programs across the whole of the US, but we've partnered with the city of Aurora for I don't even know how long now, and we really value our partnership. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what that entails as well. But first of all, obviously, thank you to everybody being here. yeah, don't underestimate or devalue everything that you guys are doing, like giving up your time and stuff. Obviously, it's just going to be massive for the kids. So just wanted to say thank you from us as well. Challenger Sports, we actually have 2 mission statements. The first one is to grow the game. So grow the game of soccer. And the second one is putting smiles on kids' faces. So again, you guys will all be playing a massive part in that as well. So kudos to you guys. The way in which like our partnership works, there's quite a lot of different avenues that we work together, but basically one of them is to help you guys. So our free, oh, thank you. Do I have to start again? Just kidding. So we provide a lot of free coach resources and to help with coach education. So one, Matt just mentioned that we do have a free coaches clinic next Monday. I believe Matt has sent that information out. But if you've got any questions, just ask. But yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. Secondly, there's some resources that we've left out the front there. If you didn't already grab them coming in, please do grab one going out. First of all, we've got this little booklet here. It's just a nice little kind of resource that you can have by your side. It's got some nice little like basic introductory kind of stuff. Obviously, we've got some new coaches here. We've got some really experienced coaches. Always useful just to kind of have a little book of resources there. Matt also talked about there the VDOC, which is our virtual director of coaching. So basically it's an online resource that's got lots of different, session plans, drills, games, ideas, things like that to, help you so you're not having to go and think of things out of thin air. So again, there's this document here that has got instructions on how to log in. It is completely free for all of you guys. So please do have a look through. Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory on there. So again, lots of different ways just to help you guys. And then, like I said, with the coaches clinic as well. So obviously that's things to help you guys as coaches. Other things that Challenger Sports provides are international soccer camps and year-round programming as well that we do with the City of Aurora. We actually have a spring break camp coming up in March. So check that out. And also we have 6 weeks of summer camps all across Aurora. So these camps utilize our international coaches. So we bring coaches over from different countries. If you couldn't tell, I'm not from here either. But yeah, coaches come over. It's a really fun cultural experience. Obviously encourages the kids to continue playing over the summer as well. And, be taught by different coaches as well. So really fun. Again, there were these flyers out there on the desk. So if you didn't grab any, please do grab some. If you guys can help distribute these to some of your players as well and just talk it up and spread the word. The camps are always really fun and yeah, just a great experience as well. So one of those camps is actually our newer creative skills camp. Again, you can find out more about that on the website. But it does actually feature our new inflatable fields as well, which is really fun. And those fields are also available as well if people are having birthday parties or things like that and you guys want to rent them out. That's something that we do as well. But I think that is pretty much it. So, there's a lot that we work together to offer to you guys and to the community. So hopefully you guys will take advantage of that as well. And then last thing, just before I pass the mic back, competition time. So if anybody is interested in winning a free place to one of our camps this year, listen up. So I am from a small town in England called Burnley, and that is actually my soccer team that I support. So quick question, and just shout out the answer if you know. Does anybody know what league Burnley are in? There we go. Round of applause, please. This Jen. You can email me and get your free spot to camp, okay? So yeah, Burnley are in the Championship, which is the second tier in England, if you didn't know. So yeah, but thank you, everybody. Good luck this season and enjoy. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Kate. All right, next up, we have one other special guest here tonight. As you can see on the board there, that's a picture I took actually when I was at a Rapids game this past summer. Is Mario Castro from the Rapids. If you didn't get the flyer out front, there's also a flyer about our 2 nights, April 12th and April 26th, but he'll talk more about everything.
Cool, thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. Like I said, my name is Mario. I've worked with Matt for a few years now on setting up these nights for City of Aurora Soccer. And like you mentioned, we set up 2 dedicated nights this year, April 12th and April 26th. Every registered player gets a free ticket to those 2 games. So, and then you can add on additional ones for family, friends, things like that. throughout the spring, there are also other games. So obviously, if you can't make out to April 12th or April 26th, there are other opportunities. But like I said, just a good opportunity for, players to come out, enjoy a Rapids game. If they haven't been to a game, they get a free ticket. If they have been, it's another time for them to enjoy the game. We're located over in Commerce City at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, for anyone who doesn't know. And then in addition to just the tickets to the game, we also have team experiences, things like walking out with the players as they walk onto the field for the national anthem, high-fiving the players at halftime, playing a mini scrimmage on the field during halftime as well. So other experiences that you can set up through your team. And you hopefully got a few of the flyers. They have a QR code that you can take you directly to the ticket link. My information is on there as well. But this can be set up for just individual families who come out through the QR code. If you want to set up like all your team sits together, we can do like a bulk purchase as well through either your coach, just a team parent, whoever who interested in setting it up. And then like I said, the complimentary ticket, if you have multiple players within, within the program, we can work on that separately. My information is through that, on that flyer. And yeah, I think that's about all I had.
Yeah. And I can't emphasize enough how much I learn about the game when I go to watch a game like that. It's obviously different than 4 or 6U soccer, but it's a learning experience to go and watch these professional players play. If you can't make it, not to bash I'm not bashing the Rapids. If you can't make it to a Rapids game, go to a DU game or go to a high school game or go to some other game where you can watch older players play in a more competitive setting. One other thing I forgot to brag about is that it's my 28th year consecutive being a USSF referee as well. So I've reffed a lot, coached a lot, played a lot, watched a lot. Anyway, all right, our philosophy. This is where we get into the nitty gritty, so to speak. We're a recreational league. We're fostering physical, emotional, and social growth while learning the fundamental skills of soccer. So that doesn't speak to wins and losses. So it says coaches and parents care more about wins and losses than the kids do. This I promise you. If you make it fun for them in practice and even in the game and in positive, they're really not going to worry about the wins and losses as much as you are. We all know, or you all know, because I don't have kids, that you want your kids to be successful. And a lot of people consider winning to be successful. It's not always that, right? There's lots of other things that are involved in playing sports, and we'll talk about that. But it's not just wins and losses. We do want kids to play the equal amount of playing time, but we'll talk about the caveats of that as far as commitment and communication and so forth, and allowing children to have fun. So that means coaches coach, players play, refs ref, and parents cheer, but don't coach. But we'll talk more about that as well. So some more on the philosophy here. Obviously, they teach us values of respect, discipline, honor, perseverance, generosity, teamwork, and self-reliance, healthy habits, nutrition, exercise, hygiene, sleep, and of course, develop social skills as well. And we need parents and coaches to help reinforce these aspects of our program over results. It's pretty self-explanatory. Again, we know that people are the object of the game is to win the game. However, 4U, 6U, and 8U are not even keeping score. And we'll talk about that as we get into the rules and stuff. But even 10U, 12U, 15U, we don't crown champions. We don't have playoffs. We just play a season of games. We do have standings in those, but I mean, the first place team gets the same as the last place team. Nothing. Other than maybe glory, their own personal satisfaction. So that's on the handouts. Obviously, we did a concussion fact sheet. We take concussion safety seriously, so all of our coaches do a concussion course. I should say to the coaches that are in here that have done multiple seasons with us, if you haven't done one in the last year or two, I would love it if you would go ahead and do another one. It's supposed to be done every year, especially if you're coaching 11-year-olds or older. That's a state law. I have everybody do it because I think, why not? Why not? You can still get a concussion when you're 8. So every coach passes a concussion course and sends that to me. The match day guide for parents, again, please read over that and help us and your child have a great game day experience. So talks about things like not coaching your child, maybe not berating them in the car ride on the way home or having those difficult discussions, and maybe just go get your ice cream and talk about it when they're ready. But read through that. The Rapids flyer we've already covered, and the Play It Again Sports coupon, it was one of the handouts as well. So Play It Again Sports is one of our sponsors, which you'll see there. Coors Orthodontics and Play It Again Sports. Play It Again is right down on Tower in Hampton. Great place to get some cleats or a ball if you need one at a lower price than probably a lot of other places. And if you use the coupon, even lower. And then Coors Orthodontics is actually right across the street on Hampton Avenue. If you have any interest in orthodontics, see them since they're one of our sponsors. And it says right at the bottom, we help offset scholarships and benefits to coaches, such as trainings and equipment. So we can use it for the equipment that we're giving out tonight. We can use it for the coaches' shirts. So I should say that we have some coaches' shirts out there. They're small, medium, and large, but we're going to get some better, nicer ones. So if you want fit small, medium, and large, you want to take one, you're a new coach, take one of the gray t-shirts tonight, that's fine. We'll have some more for you by the first game or before the first game. We care. So cheer, accept, respect, encourage. I'm not going to read that whole thing. It's too tiny anyway. But it does say, cheer for players on each team, accept imperfection, respect opponents, officials in the game, and encourage your player to continue trying. Be positive. NAYS is National Alliance for Youth Sports. So that's one of the things that we follow as far as the standings, what age groups to have standings. It's when you saw, I'm a CYSA, it's a Certified Youth Sports Administrator, as are some of the other staff as well. So yeah, it's just an organization that guides us on things like standings and other things related to youth sports. So what to do when not being followed. So only reason I put that there is, so let's say we have a game going on and there's a parent next to you from the other team and they're just being obnoxious. And the answer is not to be more obnoxious, right? To be louder than the other parent to show that, you know, you can drown them out or whatever, right? If there's really a problem, come and find me, come and find Marlinda, and let us come over and stand behind and listen and see what we hear. If we hear something that needs to be addressed, you can be sure we will address it. If a referee has a problem, they will probably address it as well. But we don't want it to get to that point if we can avoid it, all right? We just want to have a positive atmosphere, everybody cheering for teams, not against referees. Say no to racism, discrimination. I just put that little picture in there from, looks like a World Cup game or something. We obviously have a beautifully diverse community here in Aurora, and I'm very proud of that. I don't tolerate any discrimination in our league. It is hard if somebody comes to me and says, well, somebody said such and such, and I didn't hear it. Because when I go to that person and say, did you say such and such? What are they going to say? No. Well, let's just rise above and not have it happen, right? If it does happen and it does get heard by me or staff or referees, it's going to be dealt with. There's going to be suspensions, okay? And I don't want to do that. Did I go too far? Yeah. Just a quick slide so everyone is aware that all staff and volunteer coaches are mandatory reporters. A report is required when a mandatory reporter has a reasonable cause to know or suspect that a child's been subjected to abuse or neglect, and so on. If that ever happens, just come to me if you need to, if you don't have the correct contact information for that. I have all the contact information of who we need to contact. Hopefully it's not the case, but if you suspect that, let me know, okay? That even can come down to small things like my parent doesn't pick me up on time or is an hour late every time or something like that, and you're waiting. We obviously can't leave the kid there at practice or at a game. There's another fun picture in the snow. So roster formation, this is probably my biggest task when it comes to every season when you've got 600 plus kids in a league. We ask for coach requests, we ask for friends requests, and we ask for what's your closest middle school. And then I begin this massive decoding of all that. Some people put in elementary schools, some people put in high schools. I don't know where every school is. I don't know where every private school is, and it's okay. That's part of my job. But sometimes friend A requests friend B, and friend B requests friend C, and and it doesn't match up. Anyway. So we go by coach request first. Once a roster is full, if there's another person requesting that coach, unfortunately, they're going to get bumped to another roster. That's just the nature of the beast. That's why I say registering early helps your chances for requests. Being with a new coach or making new friends can be a positive. Sometimes people are like, well, I really want him to stay with Coach Barlow because he's been with him for 10 years. Well, yeah, but Coach Barlow's been teaching the same things for 10 years. He might hear, better things from Coach Diaz or Coach Bob, new things, and make new friends, and that's a good thing. So there is this questionnaire when you register, and the other part of it is it auto-populates from the first time you answered that questionnaire. So some of you had, I saw one today of a coach that hasn't coached in our league in 4 or 5 years, and that's okay. I just put you on another team because I know that coach isn't coaching. You probably do too. But that does happen. And sometimes you put the baseball coach you request from the last season or basketball, and that shows up for me in soccer, and I get confused, and I do my best. So when I say gender is not a priority, that just means I don't know how many girls or boys are on each team. There probably are more boys registered than girls. Hopefully every team has at least a couple girls, but it may not. And it's really only going to matter to them probably if you make a big deal out of it. But if it's a problem, you can let me know. Again, at 6 years old, a team of 8 girls could easily beat a team of 8 boys. So who cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's not important for a recreational league about the ratio of boys and girls. So if there's a team with all boys or a team with all girls or somewhere in between, it's not a big deal to me. It shouldn't be a big deal to you. Do the best with what you got. I kind of jokingly say this, but there's going to be a team that's 6-0. There's going to be a team that's 0-6, and there's going to be everything in between. And that's life. I mean, don't sweat it too much. Have fun. All right. If you need to change teams, just email me. I'm not going to promise that I can say, yes, I'm going to switch you to coach so-and-so that you wanted, even though it wasn't in your request and his team is full and so forth. Every once in a while, though, one person emails me and another person emails me, and it's a perfect switch. So you never know. I do get a lot of emails. That's roster formation in a nutshell. I'm still working through it. We sent out most of the rosters today. I sent out through 4U, 6U, and 8U, and I had my coworker working on 10U, 12U, and 15U. So I don't know if you guys that are in those age groups have seen anything from Amanda yet. If you haven't, you will see it from me tomorrow. Important dates. So I know I had an email from the wife of a coach who was maybe here tonight asking when practices begin. And that's next week. So my next task, after you've confirmed your practice dates out here, and I've got maybe 90% of you, 95, 99% have picked their practice time, I'm going to start working on permits. So I send you a permit that says Coach Barlow can be at Skills Park Field 2 on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 6:30. And it's a piece of paper that you need to print and have with you at the field so that you can prove to other people, if they show up, that you have the permit for the field. There will be cases where there'll be adult groups out there. Hopefully they'll be receptive and move. If not, I need to know. There'll be times where there's other sports teams out there, and hopefully they'll be receptive. And if not, I need to know. Try to be calm and be professional and represent our organization in a positive way. Understand that if a football team is out there trying to do a practice, can you share the space? Can they move somewhere to the side? You know, until next week when I can find them a field and I can put them in contact with people from Aurora to get them a field. If we can, do that. If we really can't, then you need to take your field. That's understandable. Coaches Clinic is also March 3rd. So if you don't have practice on Monday, there is a Coaches Clinic at the Southeast Fieldhouse from 5:45 to 6:45. That was what Kate was talking about. I haven't put out the next item yet because we've got enough going on right now at the moment, but I will probably by the end of this week. On March 8th, there's going to be what's called the Positive Coaches Alliance Clinic also probably at the Southeast Rec Center. Todd, do you know the time? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on Saturday, March 8th. So I'll send that information out as well. And what the topic of the clinic is, it's not a coaching clinic like learning how to coach soccer. It's more about how to be a better coach in person and have their players be as well. By Sunday evening, probably maybe even sooner, I'll have game scheduled release. Again, it's a little bit of a puzzle because we have coaches coaching multiple teams. We have coaches that have coaching requests about games and maybe having a bye or whatever. We don't usually have buys, but if we have an odd team league, which we only have in 15 and under, one team did request a bye, I believe, for the first week, which will work fine. And then I think I talked about Will in a minute, but we'll have some Friday night games on 15U, but they've been notified. First weekend of games, March 22nd, weather permitting, of course. So that's our first Saturday, and then we go 6 straight Saturdays. So you see the Rapids games are on there. We'll have a picture day on April 19th. That'll be done at the fields. Again, we just want people to participate in the pictures. We don't care if you buy anything, but we do want everybody to participate so that if someone does want a team picture, everyone's in the team picture, not just a team picture of 5 people. All right, and they actually take your individual picture and then they Photoshop it into a picture. I know that sounds weird, but that's how they do it these days. So everyone's smiling and eyes are open. Final weekends of games, potentially April 26th. Also, we have May 3rd as a makeup date. Last year, as you saw the snowy picture, I think we went even a week further. You never know. We had some games on Monday afternoon. We had some games on Sundays. We had some games on Friday nights. We'll do whatever we can to get all the games in. Should we absolutely not be able to. 75%, if we complete 75%, which would essentially be 5 of the 6 games, it does complete the season. I want to get all 6 in though. And then you see on there Friday night, Sunday afternoons, and whatever. If we need to get to Mondays or other things, we'll work it out. Whatever works for everyone. So we're going to give out some uniforms tonight, not to kids, just to the coaches. The coaches will give them out at the practices. Again, the coaches have all done a background check. They've all done a coaching certificate, and they've all done a volunteer coach agreement. If there's, let's say, 6 players on your team, you probably have 7 uniforms. If you have 8, there's probably 9 uniforms, and so on. 14, 15, 12, 13, whatever. So there's always usually at least 1 extra size, and I have other extras as well, and I can order extras, but that's costly, especially for shipping. But the key here is hand out smallest to biggest. We handed them out to you. They're probably when you hand them out, they're in a bag, smallest to biggest. Line everybody up, smallest to biggest, and give them out, smallest to biggest. Because if you open that package and somebody reaches in there, I want number 7 because I like Cristiano Ronaldo, and I want number 10 because I want Messi, and it's not their size, you're going to end up with 2 or 3 kids that definitely don't have the right size jersey. So be careful about that, and give them out by size. And then once we get past that, there's always, we need a couple extra smalls or a couple extra bigger ones or whatever. Well, I'll look and see what I have. I have probably dozens. If not, we can order. I want to try to place one order together, so I only place shipping once, because if I order 1 jersey, the shipping is more than the jersey. All right. Our website is, if you haven't been on it, is that one there, auroragov.org/youth sports. Well, that'll connect you to all the sports. If you click on soccer, obviously you'll be on the soccer one and so forth. And there's links from there to the field house, because I am also the supervisor of the field house now, as well as running outdoor soccer. But so I'm running lots of programs there, which is a different website, which is /fieldhouse. On there, you'll find the rules, the picture day stuff, the Rapids game stuff that's probably not up yet, but I'll put it up soon. The sponsor links, the schedules you see is a different website. And I put May 9th, which is wrong, March 9th. That's a typo. If we put it at May 9th, season will be over before we get the schedules. But you need to know your coach's last name. So when your coach contacts you, coaches, make sure you say, my name is Coach. If you want to be Coach Matt, that's fine, but there needs to be Coach Barlow, because Barlow is going to be what's on the schedule until you come up with a team name. Okay, and then I forget if it's 6U or 4U, we have 2 Coach Browns. We have Gerald Brown and Amanda, something with an A Brown, right? I don't know if she's here. Ashley Brown, sorry. So I will put A Brown and J Brown on those, but again, we need to pay close attention for those before we get to be the purple people eaters or whatever we're going to be. There's also a team store on there if you want socks, shorts, or whatever. Of course, you can go to Play It Again Sports, but there's a team store through Challenger. Like you can get shorts with the same logo that's on the jersey on the shorts, or you can buy the same color socks that match the jersey. That's entirely up to you. Doesn't make any difference to me either way. It's just an extra thing there for you. The spectator code of conduct. So we used to have this sheet that the coaches would have to do. I know Coach Scott and Coach Pennebaker probably remember. There's probably some others that we'd have everyone sign. Now, when you register, you're basically clicking a box. But you should go online if you're interested, and look and see what that says. And it says things like, you won't yell at referees, you won't use foul language, you won't use tobacco or alcohol products on the fields, and things like that. So, and what the penalties are for those. So yeah, we just want to make sure again that everyone's safe and everyone's having a good time. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. But you have checked the box when you'd registered that you will be responsible for our code of conduct. Inclement weather information. So I generally, again, tend to use email. There is, when you go on that team sideline site, a phone number that Todd updates, more so for baseball than I do for soccer. But I'm going to try to do my best to have soccer on there as well. But I usually send out an email, the same email that everyone is here got about tonight's meeting, and say the games are canceled. And I try to do it as much in advance as possible, but sometimes it's not till Saturday morning, right? I mean, you just have to try to chance it sometimes. And we will not start games until probably 9 or 9:30, because in the spring there's a lot of frost, and we are not allowed on the fields when there's frost. So by 9:30, usually it's gone. So that's probably going to be our start time with 1 hour and 15-minute increments from then on. And it'll depend on how many teams and so forth. I haven't mapped all that out yet. But usually goes from like 9 to 3 or 4 o'clock, something like that. Not every age group will play all the time slots, but we'll work it out. And then for practices, unless an email is sent out by me or someone in our staff to all saying all Aurora fields are closed if we have tons of snow or something like that, each coach must determine if the conditions are safe. Please err on the side of caution. So I know in the new coach's email, if you read carefully through the stuff that I sent about, it was coaching information, books, and other things. There was something in there about WeatherBug. If you have an app like that, that would be great. We will potentially have thunderstorms later in the spring, right? And that's the main issue is lightning, more so than wet ground for me. Again, if the fields are so wet that they're unsafe, you make that decision. And what's happening here or in Bennett or because we have some teams from Bennett in our 15 and under division or Southlands or whatever, is always sometimes different. Certainly lightning. But if lightning is within 10 miles, you should not be on the field. And WeatherBug will tell you that, okay? And then you should be able to tell it's moving away or is there more coming? You may just have to bag it. Think about, it's not worth a soccer practice for something severe to happen to a child or a coach. So I don't want to be at anyone's, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to be at any negative events. Make sure you have yourself muted if you're online. Oh, yeah. So each season we ask parents and players to nominate a coach each outdoor season, nominated a coach and referee of the season. So the fall 2024 was Coach T, who I thought I saw come in late. Coach T, are you here? Oh, yeah, she's there in the back. She didn't get to introduce herself, but we did some coach introductions earlier. Sorry, Coach T. It's okay. And then Ace Northrop was our referee of the season. Again, a lot of our referees are 14, 15, 16, 17. He's one of I think he actually plays in 15U too. But that's great that we have all these young refs that are brave enough to get out there and ref with us. So coaching your team. I've already sent, again, to all the new coaches, except for maybe a couple that have just joined the last week. Websites, ebooks, videos, online coaching website, which is the VDOC, and the booklets. And the other part I would say about that is I'm a resource as well. So if you say, hey, Matt, here's my coaching plan for this week. I'm trying to work on defending or whatever it is, getting back on defense. Our team goes forward and doesn't come back on defense. Let me know and I'll review your session and give you some ideas. Again, I'm happy to help. If I can even come out to a practice, I will. I try to make it out to everyone's or as many practices as I can. It's much more difficult now that I'm down in Southeast, but I try. And it's not because I don't think you're doing a good job. I just come out to say hi and see what's going on. So yeah, do not cancel a practice unless you have to. A parent can cover or ask me. I just covered that. Please email me if you're canceling or have a sub coach for a practice or a game. So if you're going to cancel a practice, just shoot me an email, because if I was planning to come out to Vista Peak or to Utah Park, it's a long way from Southeast. I don't want to drive out and then you're not there and it's a beautiful day and I didn't know you were sick or whatever it was. Yeah. So just let me know. And again, maybe I can help, or maybe we can talk about a parent or someone that can help you guys still have the practice. Yeah, and the same thing for a sub coach for practice or game, because again, the coaches have done the background check. If it's your husband or wife, great. If it's another parent, that's fine. I just need to know. And I certainly don't have any issue with those people helping you when you're there, because again, you're in charge. Other helpful hints: make it fun, limit laps, lines, and lectures. So if you're spending 10 minutes of a 60-minute practice talking to 6-year-olds about your formations and their tactics, you're wasting time. They just need to be with the ball as much as possible, as much as time individually with the ball as possible, but always ending, as it says at the bottom, with a scrimmage of some sort, because they need to understand that not everyone's going to have a ball in a game, especially at 4U and 6U, right? They're going to be very upset when the ball gets taken and there's only one ball. Some of them are. And that's part of it, part of a learning process, right? So the laps is also kind of like, if you grew up when I grew up, take a lap, we're going to warm up, we're going to take 4 laps. Well, why not at least have them dribble a ball, right? And then they come back and it's like 1, 2, 3. They're 6 years old. They're not going to pull their hamstring, I promise. Very rare. You don't have to do static stretching. It's also a waste of time. Skip that, get them moving with a ball, ground cones, whatever it is, chasing each other. They'll have to chase and be chased, right? Whether you're chasing them and they're chasing each other, tag games, whatever, with the ball. Lines just means if you're going to do, we're going to do shots on goal now. So all 12 of you guys get in a line behind this cone and we're going to shoot on Jimmy. Well, great. You've got the one goal, but why not just put 2 cones over there and do a second goal with a second goalkeeper there? You're doubling your goalkeeper training. You're doubling the amount of shots that everyone's getting. So I'm just saying limit the lines, the long lines, whenever you can. Yes, I know it's hard to manage 2 lines if you're one coach, but still more reps. You can go back and forth and look, or have a parent volunteer, right? And yeah, finish with a scrimmage of some sort. Team names, again, so once you get everybody out of practice, which I know is difficult, talk about what team name you want to be, and a lot of it depends often on the color of jersey that you have. Make it fun, make it appropriate. We've had the Blue Oxalotls, we've had the Spicy Smurfs. I don't know, you name it, we've had it. Thunder Chickens. Anyway, so once I get the team name from you after a week or 2 or 3 of practice, hopefully before the first game, your team name will say Thunder Chickens, parentheses, Barlow. All right, so it'll say both the name and the coach's name. Soccer rules. We have various rules. It's a rec league. 4U is coach, reffed, and run. It's 8-minute quarters, I believe. If anyone with 4U can confirm that. I think it's 8-minute quarters. And so you do the timing, you do the reffing. There's not a whole lot of fouling. Even in 6U and 8U, there's not a whole lot of fouling. It's more bumping into each other accidentally and someone falling and believing it's a foul maybe, or parents believing it's a foul. But we use the 6U especially as a referee training ground, and then 8U a bit as well. Please respect the intent and spirit of our rules. The rules may be found on our website. I'll send them out to the coaches, but I would expect parents can look them up themselves, or at some point I can put it in an email to all the parents. Safety, like we talked about with concussions, slide tackles, and other things. That's why it says more on that to come. How to deal with coaches, parents, or field supervisors if issues arise. You can always contact me. You can contact Derek, who's right here. If you need his email, let me know. Or if you don't want to let me know, Google it, I guess. If you're going to, if you have an issue with me, that's fine. Bring it to Derek. If you have an issue with a coach, see if you can address it first. The things that I get a lot are lack of playing time. So what is the reason? Maybe the coach has a reason. Or maybe the coach has made a mistake. But maybe it's attendance. Maybe it's attitude. Maybe it's effort. Maybe it's things that the coach has been coaching and asking. Or maybe the kid is being asked to play and the kid is saying, no, I don't want to go in. And the parent doesn't even know that. Right? So talk to the coach a little bit. If it really can't be resolved, bring it to me and I'll talk to the coach. The coaches have everyone's best interest in mind. I don't think any coach is out here trying to play somebody less intentionally. The coaches have a tough job. I see them try to do their best making the substitutions and rounds, and then somebody's hurt, and then somebody's off because they need to go potty or whatever, right? And there's all different things that happen. So if you have issues, come to me. Again, parents, same thing, or coaches with parents, same thing. If you can't resolve it yourself, come to me, and we'll get it resolved. I want everybody to have a positive experience. So rules continued. Equal playing time is required for all players. So we say required, but again, we just talked about some things. So are you attending practice? If you're not really committed to your team, you're not helping your team, your coach is not obligated to give you the same amount of playing time as everyone else that's been at every practice. That's the way I feel, and I think that's fair. I think everyone would agree with that. We all understand that things come up, that soccer is not the most important thing in everyone's life, that school is more important, that family is more important, other things may be more important. You need to communicate that with your coach. An excused absence might be different than an unexcused absence. So if you're just not showing up and the coach doesn't know why, what obligation do they have to play you as much as another player that really wants to be there? I don't think they do. So keep that in mind. Teach commitment to your kids, and speak to them if you need to, or let me know. Head coaches are permitted to converse with officials, must do so in a calm and professional manner. I don't think we have any issues with this, but very few anyway. If you need an issue addressed, again, if you want to, come find me or send me an email after the game. I know it's not going to be addressed right in the moment if you don't come find me right away. It's probably not going to be addressed right in the moment anyway. If an official makes a mistake, it's a mistake and it's over. I'm sorry, that's the nature of the beast. If you've ever been to any game ever in your life, you're rooting for one team or the other probably. So you're probably going to disagree with a referee call at some point. And whether it's right or whether the referee's call was right or wrong, you're going to disagree. That's the nature of sports, and you've got to be professional about it and kind of understand too that these referees are doing the best they can. And yeah, assistant coaches, players, spectators are participating. All right, so yeah, we don't really want anyone else conversing with officials. If you have an issue, come to me. Again, no official is out there wanting your child to be harmed or be unsuccessful or anything like that. So come to me. Don't go to a 14 or 15-year-old and berate them about something that they did or didn't do. They're doing their best. Again, bring it to me or a field supervisor if you have any concerns about whether it's fan behavior, player behavior, any kind of behavior, or anything that's going on in the field. Yes, sometimes we're going to have bees, and sometimes we're going to have wind. Those are things I can't do a whole lot about. But you can come to me and we can talk about it. If we ever find a bee nest, let me know, because we'd love to treat it just for safety purposes, not to be mean to bees. We all understand the importance of bees. We don't use cards. I'm going to skip the next one. We understand that we don't want negative behavior towards referees or staff or anyone. No cards are used, but players, coaches, and spectators can be warned, asked to sub out, take a timeout, or ejected by staff or referees. So if I see something and a referee doesn't call it, I may act on it if I need to. But if a referee sees it, obviously, and acts on it, sometimes I might give a warning. Sometimes they might say, Coach, number 8 needs to sit out. It might be 2 minutes. It might be till the half. They can decide. We talk about that in the referee training, and I'll talk about referee training here in a minute. It wasn't on the important dates, but it is an important date for me. March 8th, we're having referee training from 5 to 6:30, and I usually invite coaches to come. I've yet to have a coach show up, but if a coach wants to come and listen to what we're telling referees, I would love that, because that would give a little more insight into how the games are called at a rec level. Game lengths are different by different ages. That'll be in the rules. Shorter for younger, longer for older, up to 15-minute quarters for 15U. Standings are only in 10U, 12U, 15U. 5-goal rule. So one of the coaches approached me outside earlier today, and I wanted to remind coaches of this. Even in 4U, 6U, and 8U, when we're not keeping score, you are keeping score. Be honest. We know. Somebody is. So when the score gets to 5-0, that's a pretty dominant lead in soccer. That's like, 40-0 in football, or whatever sport you want to compare it to, 40-10 in basketball. You're pretty sure you're going to probably win the game. So then you need to start making adjustments, right? You need to make adjustments of maybe my best player can get a little more rest this game, and some of my weaker players will get more playing time this game if you're doing that, which you shouldn't, but if you are, right? Or you tell your best player, you need to make sure that A, B, and C get a goal. Figure out how to do it. Maybe you can only score with your left foot. Maybe you can only score on, if it's an older age group, on a header or on a volley or from outside the penalty area or whatever. And you don't make a big deal about it yelling across the field, hey guys, we're winning 5-0, so stop scoring. You don't have to do that. Pull 1 or 2 people aside and let them spread the word. But it's a 5-goal rule. So the 5-goal rule means if you're up by 5 goals, not so much in 4U, 6U, 8U, because again, we're not keeping score, but we may still do it in those age groups. We will do it in 6U and 8U because they're referees. There are referees. If you're up by 5 goals, the team that's winning may add a player, or the team that's losing may take a player off. And if you continue to score 6, 7, 8, 0, it's going to continue to happen until it's like 6-3 or whatever it needs to be to even out. Hopefully, again, you can make the correction where we don't have to make the odds so weird, and then you have so many players sitting out and not getting to play. So the coaches have to figure that out. Okay, I'm dominating this game. How can I flip it? Flip the positions, flip whatever, put your best player in goal, whatever it is that you need to do, okay? Heading is not allowed except for 10U, 12U, 15U, and we may actually change that by the fall to 12U and 15U only, going by current guidelines or new guidelines. No slide tackling at all in any of our leagues. I've been asked by parents why not, and safety. It still happens from time to time, accidentally or otherwise. It should be called, and sometimes it gets missed. But yeah, we just don't have slide tackling. The goalkeeper is different. The goalkeeper can go down inside their own penalty area. That's allowed. Offside is only in 10U, 12U, and 15U. So those games we use 2 refs, which is partly why the price is a little higher. Build out line in 8U only. So that just means when there's a goal kicker, the goalie has the ball, everyone in 8U has to move back behind a dotted line that's about 1/3 of the field back so that they can build out a little bit. And then defensive walls in 6U or 4U, I have to laugh a little bit because if you have a team that can set up a defensive wall in 6U or 4U, kudos, you are the coach of the year already. But we did have this one time, and they set up like 5 kids, and the goal's only like 5 feet wide. So they put 5 kids across the front of the goal while you're blocking the whole goal. There's also no goalies in 6U and 4U. So we came up with a rule to say that if you build a wall in 6U or 4U, it can only be 2 people big. So it's not blocking the whole goal. But again, not a big deal. Hopefully it doesn't come up at all. So support our referees. That's an old picture, but that's Jayla, one of our teen referees from probably 4 or 5 years ago. Says I will be 50% right on every call. Think about that. It just means that one team is going to agree, great call, ref, and the other team is going to be like, terrible call. Maybe not. But it's not okay to yell at them. It's not okay to yell at the kids. We're always recruiting refs. So if you know anybody that wants to ref, they only have to be 14 or older. Obviously, if you're 14 or 15, you're going to mostly ref 6U and 8U. Maybe if you show high competency, you might ref 10U if you understand offside. So yeah, help us recruit and retain referees. It's a very important thing to me as a referee myself. If you want to try refereeing yourself, come on out and try. Some of our coaches do ref, KZ refs, and Peter Gonzalez used to coach refs. Some of Jono's kids have ref for us. Anyway, uniforms, it's pretty simple. You get the jersey. No other jersey may be worn over. So as it's cold in the beginning, we'll layer up and wear some long sleeves t-shirts or sweatshirts and then try to get the jersey over top. Because if you've got a red jersey and a black jacket and you're playing black, you understand, right? We try not to put anything else on it. I know sometimes people like to put names and things on it, but for the purpose of equity, we want to keep all the jerseys just as they are. No badges, no names, no other things added to the jerseys, please. Shin guards are required, and they need to be under their socks. I know a lot of kids like to put them over. I don't know why, but under their socks, it's a law of the game, and it's a safety concern. So we want to try to get them under their socks. If you have to wear a pair of socks under and a pair of socks over to make it comfortable and get some bigger shoes or thinner socks, whatever, do that. And as you see on there, long pants, long sleeves can be worn, religious head coverings can be worn, medical bracelets can be worn, but go to the next slide. Jewelry is prohibited. So the one thing that we always have is earrings, right? Oh, I just got my ear pierced. I can't take it out. If you do that, you're risking not being able to play. Okay, so be careful about getting ear pierced now or anytime during the season if it's brand new. Hopefully, otherwise you can take them out. And that's just a safety concern because of the backs and maybe a ball or something hitting the side of the head. We don't want to have that. And watches, jewelry, other things not safe either, including necklaces. If you have a religious necklace, tuck it in your shirt, tape it to your chest if you can, whatever. But stuff dangling around is a choking hazard, as you might imagine. So, and tape is not really a solution for earrings either. So parents, help your coaches be on time. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Dropping off and picking up. So one of the biggest stresses for coaches and for me is the game is at 9:30. So coach says, hopefully says, everybody be there at 9 o'clock. Well, at 9:25, the coach has 3 players. Ooh, well, we start worrying. Are we going to have to borrow players? And then all of a sudden, everyone comes flooding in. I know it's hard getting kids. Well, again, I don't have kids, but I'm sure it's hard getting kids out of bed, getting kids organized, getting whatever, back that plan up another 15, 20 minutes so that you can get there on time so the coaches aren't stressed and be there to pick up your kids, especially from practice, because coach doesn't want to wait there half an hour after a practice on a Tuesday night in the potentially cold spring air. So yeah, and then communicate. So again, communicate that you're going to be there or not be there, especially if you're not going to be there. Communicate that you will help with the snack list, which is further down, the all-important snack list. Teach commitment and teamwork. We've hit on that a little bit, but again, it's like you've signed up for youth soccer. Try to stick it out. Try to show up for every practice and every game because your team needs you. If nothing else, for the numbers. Even if you're not the best player, even if your team hasn't won a game, show up and show perseverance, right? And teamwork and commitment. Be respectful and care. We've talked about that plenty. Dealing with injuries, the only thing I'd say about that is there's lots of different types of injuries that can occur in soccer. Most are minor, right? Most are things like a ball gets kicked into your stomach and you lose your breath, or you get kicked in the shin and it hurts. Your leg's not broken, but it hurts, right? It hurts bad, but it does stop hurting after a couple minutes. So as parents, please understand that myself and my staff are first aid and CPR trained, AED trained. If we have a major incident, we will deal with it and we will get first aid and call 911 and do all the things that are necessary. But if it's a minor injury, please don't come rushing onto the field unless you're called onto the field. Yeah, that's basically it. Again, we'll also be times where it's somewhere in between and we'll have you come around to the bench area, which is usually just for coaches. But yeah, understand that small things will happen. Feet will get stepped on. People will get kicked. It's soccer, right? It's not checkers. Snack list, and then be a parent, not a coach unless asked. So this goes for games and practices. Try not to be telling your child, do this, do that during a practice or game unless you're volunteering to coach. And you can go to your coach and say, would you like help? I would be happy to be your assistant. They hopefully will want you to help. Because certainly there's going to be a time when they're out of town or ill or whatever and need someone to fill in. And I do too, because I can't fill in everywhere all across Aurora every week. So, again, be a coach and be a parent, not a coach unless asked, and have fun with it. Just enjoy the kids having fun. Again, you wouldn't show up to a math test or a music recital or anything else and be telling them, play this note or divide by 2. It's not, I get sports are different because there's an audience, there's still an audience at a musical performance, but focus on them having fun and just cheer for them when them or someone else does something well. Thank you, coaches and parents. We did go a couple minutes over. I apologize, probably because we had our special guests today. We haven't had them in the past. But yeah, we started at 6:35, so technically it's less than an hour. Let me ask right now, are there any questions here in the audience? Yes. Socks. So the question is, what do we need to get for our kids? Yes, I would recommend some type of cleats, but you don't have to have cleats. You can wear running shoes or any kind of shoes that are comfortable, but understand that the less traction, the more slippery it can be. Make sure when you go to play it again or wherever you go that you're getting soccer cleats. I see so many baseball and football cleats out there. And I don't want to tell a kid they can't play, but there are different types of cleats, and those ones are usually a lot more dangerous for kicking someone. So soccer cleats have different shaped bottoms than football and baseball cleats do, different shaped cleats on the bottom as well. So make sure you're getting soccer cleats. So you need cleats, probably, socks that go over shin guards, so knee-high socks, if you will, shin guards, and that's it. You can wear any type of shorts, any type of shirt for practice, or long pants, long shirts, whatever, and you're going to get a jersey. And any type of shorts for the game. So if you wear a red jersey and you wear pink shorts and purple socks, that's fine. I don't care. The team doesn't have to match. Everyone's going to have the same jersey. But yes, and a ball. So size 3 for 4U, 6U, 8U, and size 4 for 10U, 12U, and size 5 for 15U. If you can get a ball, that's great. The coaches will be given a few extra balls, but it's great for everyone to have a ball at practice. That way they're not short on balls. What other questions? No, we in 8U and older, there are penalty shots. Yes, there are penalty kicks because we do have penalty areas and goalkeepers. In 6U, there are not penalty shots because there's not goalkeepers, and there's not penalty areas because there's not goalkeepers. Yeah, same for 4U. So there's direct kicks in 6U and 4U, but not penalty kicks. Any other questions? Other questions? Yes? Correct. So the question is, how will the coaches contact us? Good question. So again, by tomorrow, all the coaches will have the rosters, and hopefully coaches will have picked their practice, because there's no sense contacting you if they haven't picked their practice location. But yes, I have sent them all today, I believe, yes, a example of an email to send. So email will be a great way to contact you. They also have your phone number. They have the email and the phone number that's in your account in our registration system. So if that email is wrong or the phone number is wrong, then we may have a problem reaching you. And if necessary, if you don't hear from your coach by March 2nd, which is Sunday, email me and I'll connect you with the coach. Okay, I'll look up your age group and I'll look up what your coach are on. I've told the coaches, you may need to email, you may need to call, and you may need to text every single person and to track who's answered back, because I want to know. I don't want to get 3 weeks into the season. I never heard from Jimmy. Well, what, we could have resolved that 3 weeks ago. So yeah, the coaches are going to be contacting you by the end of this week, basically. And I need coaches to help me with that.
We had a question online, Matt, about schedules for practices, and that's going to be based upon Coach Wright and what their permits are. So you'll be hearing from your coach, like Matt just mentioned. So just wait for that call or email from the coach, which should include the information in regards to practices.
Yes. So going back to the roster formation, I tried to place you as close to the middle school or school that you put on there. That being said, same thing as when you have 12 people coach, that want Coach Barlow, and then you have 12 people that live in Vista Peak, and then the 13th person in Vista Peak may have to come into Aurora a little bit for their practice or go up the road or down the road or whatever. It's not perfect. I wish I could make it exactly perfect for everyone and have them walk to their practice field, but that's just not a reality. I understand that Aurora is a big place. It's tough to get around in the afternoon hours, but yeah, there are going to be some people that see their thing and they're like, oh man, my practice is 7 miles away. And I mean, I know that's kind of far, but it's kind of not. So, I mean, try to make it work, and there's not going to be a lot of wiggle room to move you to another practice. For 15U, what kind of cleats? Sorry, not sure. And so what is the schedule for practice? Your coach is going to let you know. It's once a week, generally once a week. And your coach is going to let you know what day of the week and what practice field and time they've picked, and hopefully it'll work for you. 15U, what kind of cleats? Soccer cleats. I don't know. Adidas, Puma, Nike, whatever. Any kind of soccer cleat you want. I would use if you want to get specific, there's ones called firm ground or turf are probably the best. Don't get a soft ground. That's one that only has like 3 or 4 cleats on the bottom. Those are more dangerous and not necessary and often have metal bottoms. So yeah. Other questions? Okay. 6 and under. Yeah. So, and that's another weird thing about the spring season is our age cutoff is 9/1/24 for one full school year. So 6U will include some 7-year-olds, but it's the same. It's still the same for everyone because it's the same age cutoff, right? For every age group, 9/1/24. In the fall, if you turn 7, you'll be 8U because you're 7 and 8 and under. But if you turn 9 after 9/1/24, you'll still be 8U. Anyway, 9/1/25, sorry. What was your question? Yes, the slide deck and everything, the handouts will all be sent out. In fact, we're recording this now, so the recording of tonight will be sent out.
Great.
And I see some people
that
having.
was on here about the handouts being sent out electronically. So
Yes, everything that was handed out and the slide deck and, well, I don't know if you need a slide deck because I think once we send out the video, the slide deck's on the video. So everything will be sent out. I have to get in on YouTube and then I'll send it out by the end of this week or early next week, hopefully. All right. Other questions? When will you know the colors of the uniform? Probably the first practice if your coach gets his or her uniforms before the first practice. So yeah, when they contact you, if you're curious to know about the uniforms, you want to do the matching socks or something, or think about team names, just shoot an email back to the coach. Hey, I'm happy to be on the team. Did you pick our uniform color yet? And they'll let you know yes or no. Because if they're not here tonight, they won't get it until they come and see me at the Southeast Rec Center, or we set up some other alternative time for me to get it to them. If I can get it to them at a practice or something, I will, but I'm not going to be the delivery man all around Aurora for those. So it's too much. Question online looks like in the summer league, there was a semifinals and a championships. There absolutely was not in our league. Oh, wait, in 15 and under there was, because we had 5 teams. I think we did do a tournament style. I'll have to look and see how the 7 games, actually probably not. With a 7-team season, each team will play each team once, and that'll be 6 games. Yes. not necessarily. So yes, so I sent out an email to all of the 15U participants. Maybe you weren't on it. Maybe the registration person was on it. But yeah, for 15U, there will be 3 Fridays that I have on the turf that we will schedule games on. Sometimes you might play a Friday, Saturday. Sometimes you might play only a Friday. Sometimes you might play, this is only 15 and under. Sometimes you might play only a Saturday. You'll get a game every weekend, sometimes 2. And then we also have access to the grass on some Fridays if we need it, but it'll only happen later in the season because of darkness. Other questions? Yes? Yes. So the question was, are game fields and practice fields different? Very much so. The practice fields are parks or schools near where you live, hopefully. And then, and so to be honest, the quality of the parks and the schools is not as good as our game fields, which is the Aurora Sports Park, which is like professional level fields that these 4 and under, 6 and under get to play on. So there's some challenges involved with that as far as the practice fields. Sometimes the grass gets long and other things happen like that. If it rains on the day that they're supposed to mow, it might not get mowed for 2 weeks. You just got to plow through it, you know? But yes, different.
If you're not familiar with Aurora Sports Park too, in the spring and fall times, make sure to overdress. It'll get cold out there. It's East Colfax, and so it's always better to dress warm, or you can always take layers off. And when it's hot, it's hot. Make sure they're hydrating. Make sure you're bringing water for your kids, that sort of thing. I would suggest that as well.
Always windy at the sports park too, especially towards the afternoon.
Yep.
Be careful with pop-up tents and stuff like that when you're trying to make shade when it gets hot. They blow up. They have blown away. So here's what we're going to do. Our last thing. Thank you guys, coaches, parents. I think that was the last slide, and we've answered. If we have more questions, I'll be out and about as well. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to hand out equipment and uniforms. So what I would like to do, if we can, as best we can, because I know all the coaches don't know each other, is have the new coaches that maybe don't have equipment, especially 4U, 6U, to go out first, but some of the other older ages as well. But I want to make sure the 4U, 6U get some cones and some things that they're for sure going to need. And if I need to get more stuff, I will. Cones, balls, pennies. Possibly there's a couple of sets of pop-ups, but it's not going to last for everybody. Parents, you're free to go. Thank you for coming. And then pick your uniforms. And then Marlinda, Todd, Andre are going to be out there writing down what you're taking so that I can get it back when you're done coaching. You can keep it if you're going to coach in the fall, but I do need it back so that we don't run out of stuff. Thanks, guys.